Hi everyone. I got a great reading from you from A Course in Miracles today. And when we read this, we practice this, right? We're just not reading lines in a book. We make these thoughts our own. And this is from the lesson, It is Impossible to See Two Worlds. And what he's going to tell you is that you can either see the world of separation, um, or you can see the world that's reflecting the love of God. But you can't see both. And which one you're seeing is the one that you want to see. That's what it's going to tell you. And they don't meet, right? There is no meeting place between the two. If you remember Paul in New Testament, where he goes like, "And I saw a new world and I saw a new heaven." That's the offering. The offering is to have your perception changed entirely to that new way of seeing, coming in your new mind, if you will. Can you see? That's the practice and that's the purpose of A Course in Miracles. To bring about that shift and to stay there. In other words, you'll maybe going back and forth, right? You'll forget at times, but the purpose is to become perfect in it, to become, to stay in that particular corrected vision, if you will. Um, Listen to this, and as we read it, just let it sink in for a moment because these particular thoughts are so powerful and have so much to teach you. It's amazing. It says perception is consistent. What you see reflects your thinking. Let that sink in for a moment. Think about what that says. What you see reflects your thinking. Now look at your world. That alone, that sentence alone should be enough to want to make you change your mind. Because what you see, generally speaking, is not a very pretty picture, is it? There's a lot of suffering going on, right? These are the results of the thoughts you're having, okay? And you're thinking, but reflects your choice of what you want to see. Love it, right? What you want to see is what you're going to see. This is your desire. You're not seeing this by accident. This is what you want to see. It's a tough one, right? It's a tough lesson. Love it. I love the lessons that are really tough, where you're really being forced to look at your own mind, where you're really being forced to say, wait a minute, that can't be, I don't want that, right? There has to be another way, right? I could see peace instead of this. These are the thoughts, right? Your values are determinants of this. For what you value, you must want to see. Listen, believing what you see is really there. Right? You really think that what you're seeing is real. It's actually there. Despite the fact that you know full well that you've been wrong all the time. You're wrong all the time. Correct? You think you know what's going on, you have no idea. Right? Love it. No one can see a world his mind has not accorded value. You see this world because you want to see it, because you think it has value to you. It's a tough one, isn't it? When you let that sink in for a moment, don't skip over this because, boy, this is where the rubber meets the road, right? This is where you come up against yourself, your own denial, because A Course in Miracles is a complete confrontation with you, right, as you see yourself, and you as you truly are, right? The one yourself, right? Created by God. This is your confrontation. Huh? Love it. And no one can fail to look upon what he believes he wants. Fear has made everything you think you see. Notice that he says, you think you see, right? You think you see it, and therefore you think it's real. But what you're seeing is nothing. What you're seeing is projected thought form. What you're seeing is made up by you because you value it, because that's how you justify your idea of yourself. And you continuously justify it. Well, I'm so and I got this and this body, and these are my convictions, and right, and everything around you reflects your justification of your self identity that has nothing to do with who you truly are. Can you see? All separation, all distinctions, and the multitude of differences you believe make up the world, they are not there. Those of you who've had the experience of literally seeing the world disappear in front of your eyes and seeing the love of God reflected right behind it, know exactly what I'm talking about. That's that's the promise. Can you see? Only the only the experience brings the conviction. I can read this to you 1,000 times and you may like it, but only when you enter into the experience can you say, oh, this is what it is, right? That's where your conviction comes from. Love's enemy has made them up, yet love can have no enemy. And so they have no cause, no being, and no consequence. The opposite of love is fear, but what is all encompassing can have no opposite. Correct? Love it. Love it. They can be valued, but remain unreal. They can be sought, but they cannot be found. Today will not. So here's the turnaround, right? Here's the correction. Here is your desire to want the alternative. Today we will not seek for them, nor waste this day in seeking what cannot be found. There's your determination, right? Okay, there's got to be something else. That's what I want, right? Beyond this world, there's another world I want to see. That. It is impossible to see two worlds which have no overlap of any kind. Seek the one, the other disappears, but one remains, right? Again, there is no meeting place of those two worlds. Only one of is real, right? But you're going to see the one that you want to see. Huh? They are the range of choice beyond which your decision cannot go. The real and the unreal are all there are to choose between, and nothing more than these. What an amazing idea. What an amazing idea that you can change your mind so completely, right? That you think in an entirely different way than the world thinks, right? You can no longer even find yourself in the thinking of the world because your mind has changed so completely. And that whatever you see reflects that new thought system, reflects the love that's behind all the imagery, if you will, right? And with that, as many of you have noticed in your practice, comes the peace and the love and the serenity and the happiness of God. That's how simple that is. But yes, it's going to be for a moment a confrontation, isn't it? You're going to be confronted with your own denial. You have to, otherwise you're not going to look at it. Right? So yeah, you're going to have to go through your fears for a moment. You're going to have to go to your unwillingness to change your mind, to your confrontation with yourself. Call this the dark night of the soul, call it whatever you want. But you're going to have to sit down for a moment. Right? And those are usually tough times. That's just the way that is. But the promise is you will not be left there, right? You will go far beyond it. Right? You will not be left in fear. You will not be left in darkness. It's simply for a moment you have to go through it. The light is where the darkness is. It's not somewhere else. You can't just avoid all that and just go, no, I'll get there some other way. That's not how this works. And I just really get happy from this. Like, it's the verification of what I know to be true within my own mind. Can you see? This is how it happens for me, and I know that this is how it happens for you. It doesn't happen any other way, right? Specifics differ, but the process is the same. Amazing idea. So this is from It's Impossible to See Two Worlds. If you have a moment today, read it. It's amazing. The two lessons before that is the world I see holds nothing that I want, which just is an affirmation that you look at your own world and you see that can't be it. This world really is meaningless to me, right? I can see all the things that the world values and they have no value to me. They maybe used to at one point, but they no longer do. There's got to be, I want the peace of God, right? And it's not of this world. I want a joy that cannot be disturbed by anything, right? That a peace that cannot be disturbed by anything. Can you see? You're wanting for things not of this world. And then the lesson after that says, beyond this world is a world that I want, right? That there's an alternative for you available. And the alternative, that's the mind training of A Course in Miracles. That's that different thought system that you make your own by practicing these ideas. Finally, is just forgiveness. Finally, this is just forgiveness of the world you see because what? You're the cause of it. Can you see? This is what many of us everywhere are practicing, correct? And it's a very personal and private practice. It doesn't really happen by sitting around in a group and discussing it, does it? That has nothing to do with it. Certainly, Course in Miracles is not a course that should be discussed. How do we interpret this? What does it mean with that? This is really private. This is between you and God, if you will, right? This is between you and reality, where you're just going to sit down. What does Jesus say? Go into your closet and pray, right? This is private. And yet, for those of us who are waking up, we can share this in the sense that when two minds, recognize their oneness, they become glad, right? We join in that recognition. And in that joining, when minds join, they become glad, they become happy. They cannot not because recognizing each other's oneness and joining with your brother is happy. That brings about a happiness in you. Okay, you see? So, yeah, it's private. Yeah, it's personal. Yeah, it's confrontational. It's all of that. It's emotional. It's physical. It's mental. It includes everything. You feel your own transformation and physical and spiritual transformation on a cellular level, right? Because light is penetrating your mind, therefore light is penetrating every cell in your body. Physical resurrection, physical transformation, spiritual transformation, it's all the same thing, right? It's you being penetrated by light. And then, yeah, you'll feel yourself getting emotional, right? Because what? The gratitude of when you start to remember before time was and after time is over, when you start to remember out of time, if you will, right? That's enormously emotional. Yeah? That, that is so personal, that is so intimate, you can't even share that with anyone. And it can happen at any moment, right? You can hear a song, or it's a memory, or it's anything, but suddenly you remember, right? I love one of my favorite part, of course, and one of the most beautiful parts of A Course in Miracles is a forgotten song, where it says you can't really remember the whole melody, but you remember tiny whispers of it, and it would make you cry if you remember how beautiful it was, and how you listened to it with others, and you know. So what is he talking about? He's talking about out of time memory. He's talking about your true nature. He's talking about your true home, right? Everyone knows that this world is not their home, no matter how much they're trying to deny it. And those who are trying the hardest to deny it, those are the ones that are most afraid to look at it. Yeah? But you are no longer, right? You're looking at it, you're desiring it, you're practicing it, you're ready for it, and that's all. That's that's all that's required. The rest will be automatic, because once you start working this particular process, the process will work you. You see, you start practicing. I think you're doing a course or you're doing this, but really what's happening is you're inviting the color had the collaboration with the simultaneous corrector, and it's happening to you. And once it starts, it has a life of its own, right? You're no longer in charge. You're just following, right? You're following. You choose the second place to gain the first. Right? To just quote a lesson, you're just stepping back and let yourself be shown. So happy practicing, happy resurrection, happy spiritual transformation. It truly is a personal, transformational, joyous awakening to the realization that you always have been and are and will be perfect as you were created. That you're not from this world. And that you're in fact now starting to remember. And that you've discovered that the portal is open and you can just walk out of here in the light. And how do you do that? You change your mind. Right? You just change your mind. The door is open, but you don't know that if you stay in darkness. Right? You change your mind because that light is right below the surface of these thoughts that you use to hide the door, if you will, to hide that access portal. Right? So the moment you change your mind, the moment you open it, it's available to you. That's it. You go like, there's got to be more. There's always more. Huh? There's always more. But that's it. It's like you're in, at that point, you're in God's hands. Can you see? At that point, you just enjoy the ride. Your job is to make sure you stay on the mark. But anything else, is, you're just following. So thanks for listening for a moment. And I know full well what those of you who are practicing this are going through. Because we know each other. And we know each other perfectly well all the time. How would you not know each other? So I love you. I hope you have a great, great day today, wherever, whenever you are. And I'll see you everywhere.